It's fight camp. It's week one. It's Zucan versus Leigh Wood for the WBA Championship of the World. Let's talk about it here on BWTM Sports. Stay tuned. Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to BWTM Sports Gaming. Zucan versus Leigh Wood. Can you believe it? BWTM Sports is actually covering a Matchroom fight camp. So it's not often I do fight camps, but I think, to be honest with you, boxing's changed. Times have changed. And so BWTM Sports have got to move with the times. And so we're doing Zucan versus Leigh Wood. So let's get these guys off the screen, get myself on the screen, and get talking. By the way, thank you to the new subscribers. Shout out to you, new subscribers and old school subscribers. Yeah, shout out to you too. Couldn't do it without you. So we go. So we're going to be talking about the card that was Can versus Wood. Michael Thomas says, how Matchroom Waitrose KO season morning, BWTN Sports. Yes, good morning. This is your Sunday service. This is your early morning Sunday service because I'm not sure I can do a late one. Last night, I had the pleasure and the honor of being on Ultra Tech Sport Boxing. Please, if you can, get across, check out Ultra Tech Sport Boxing, not just because I was on the show, but check it out because it's a great show. My man over there does some absolutely hilarious stuff, knows his boxing, boxes himself. So, yeah, get across Ultra Tech Sport Boxing. Check it out. Go across there and check him out. So let's talk about what happened last night, the fight camp, or as Ultra Tech likes to call it, shite camp. So no, I'm not going to go steaming into Eddie because people expect me to go steaming into Eddie. I won't. I'll look at it like this. When you have a promoter that is very larger than life, and I'm not criticizing that, and he's out there and he's, you know, from the top of his voice like Tarzan. When you've got a promoter like that, then everything's very colourful and everything's larger than life and everything is like glitz and glamour. And Eddie's done some good things, like in terms of having fight camp in his backyard. People laugh at that, but without the fight camp in his backyard during COVID, a lot of people would be stuffed. A lot of fighters want to be able to box. So in that sense, I think that Eddie's done a great job. And he has tried to push the envelope. The problem I've got with Eddie, or I've got with some of the things he's done, is that there's not been much heart and soul in what's going on. What I mean by heart and soul is like this lineup he's had that they've got for this fight camp. Tony Bellew, Maya Jama, Andy Lee, that guy from Radio 5 Live. Having been working with Sky Sports for so long, it was a great opportunity for Matchroom to turn and say, you know what, we do want to change the game here, not to take from the fans, but we want to give back to the fans. So who do you think should be our main commentators? Who do you think should be our presenters? Who do you think should be part of our panel? You know what I mean? And our team. And if they'd done it that way, I think Matchroom could have been onto something. I think they could have done something really special with that. But instead, once again, they've take it or leave it attitude. This is what we've got. Very arrogant. And I don't know if that, in terms of charging people £750. If you weren't charging people £750 a ticket for that, then okay. But £750 a ticket, that for me, you're basically taking a piss, honestly. Why would you pay $750 to have the top 3 fights be? This is what it is: Hatton, Billam-Smith, and McCarthy, and Leigh Wood, and Can. Why would you have those 3 in, your those top 3 to be your Campbell Hatton? What Campbell Hatton's had 3, 4 fights. He doesn't knock anybody out. Billam-Smith's been beaten before. He's okay. He's not great. Tommy McCarthy's okay, but the best. The best of the cruiserweights. They're okay. You wouldn't even call them, like, none of those guys you'd say were going to win a world title or even have a remote chance at a world title. Do you understand? And at the top of her bell, Zhu Can, or Can Zhu, however you want to call his name, and Leigh Wood. Leigh Wood looked good, but is that a top of the bill fight, or has that been shifted to top of the bill because of BENN versus GRANDOS? That card, that's a fight there that would be, on a good card, that'd be like maybe an undercard fight, but or not even undercard, on a really good bill. You understand? But because the bill was so weak, Sandy Ryan making a debut. Congratulations, Sandy Ryan. Jack Callan. It was just a weak card. But I guess you've got to get these guys out boxing. You know what I mean? And people say, why did Campbell Hatton fight up the card? The only reason why Campbell Hatton probably fought up the card, to be honest with you, to be fair, I think the only reason why Campbell Hatton fought up the card was because Campbell Hatton is the son of Ricky Hatton. And so therefore, when you're the third fight, you're the third fight in, let's say 3 fights to go. He's the third fight in, right? Final 3 fights, in other words. More people are going to get to watch you fight. Oh, yeah, who's that? That's the son of Ricky Hatton. Oh, okay. And then people are so intoxicated by them, or, they're staying for the main event, that they say, oh, who's that fighting? Oh, it's Campbell Hatton. Oh, Ricky Hatton's son. So that's the reason why I think Campbell Hatton's fighting there, other than being a card filler, because he doesn't punch hard. He's not very good to look at. He's poor. You know what I mean? But, he's Ricky Hatton's son, so it is what it is. That's what it is, because if he wasn't Ricky Hatton's son, he wouldn't be where he is today, to be honest. So that's what it is of that. Review the fights. Now, I didn't watch all the fights because I was talking with Ultratech Sport. Shout out to Ultratech Sport. But the fights I did see, I saw Anthony Fowler versus MUELLER. MUELLER, a replacement opponent. Fowler showed he could box off the back foot and try and fight sensibly. I'm not go gung-ho trying to land big bombs. The thing with Fowler there, right, is that he was trying to make that Leigh-Smith fight, so he didn't want to do anything too silly. But even though he kept getting clunked with right hands, the stoppage of the referee was very poor. MUELLER took way too many punches. However, the referee's job is to protect the fighters when the fighter can't protect themselves. That's what the referee's there for. And in that case, the referee failed. But on the terms of promotional highlights for Anthony Fowler, looking him look like the machine, then those punches he threw, the sequence of punches he threw, and MUELLER didn't answer back. If you just put those highlights together, if you were promoting Leigh-Smith versus Anthony Fowler, Fowler would look like a beast to promote that fight. So those unanswered punches, if you just put the clip there and you've never seen Anthony Fowler, you go, wow, Leigh-Smith's in with a killer. And that's how they do promotions. So I understand why it happened. No, I'm not saying what the referee did was acceptable, but that's what happened. So there's that. What else are we talking about? Back and forth banter. Billam-Smith versus Tommy McCarthy. Tommy McCarthy looked like he's gassed him at round 5. He landed a real good overhand right in the first round. I thought, wow, there we go, we've got a fight tonight, because the rest of the card really was flagging. It was a case to me of Tommy McCarthy. He was brave, he was gutsy, but the quality of punches came from Smith. His punches were better. He had better quality punches, better jab, better right hand, better left hook. He threw better. He looked a better boxer. With Smith, he just didn't know how to gauge his distance. So you could see he was looking to the right hand, left hook. He was looking to do it, but he kept smothering his work. McCarthy was very scrappy at times. And he looked exhausted. He looked absolutely exhausted in there. And Smith couldn't get him out there. So it just wasn't a great fight. I mean, people were desperate for a good fight, and were like, "This is a great fight." No, it wasn't. It was an average fight. An average fight at best. And when you're talking to somebody now who has stopped, for the most part, a lot of commentary because of these nights where the standards of boxing is that poor, that it's painful to actually commentate on the fights because they're that bad. So I've become kind of almost like a diva, where I just will not commentate on some of these fights because of the pain, the excruciating pain you have to go through because the fights are that bad. So it's an average fight. If you want to call it a domestic fight, then I hate using the term domestic, but yeah, that was a domestic fight. The world title fight. Leigh Wood saved the show. Let's be blatant, let's be frank. He saved the show. And Leigh Wood, to me, did what a lot of British fighters can't do at world level. Go for the championship rounds, win the championship rounds, adapt. He was able to adapt. He wasn't doing the same thing for 12 rounds. He showed creativity. He showed fighting on. He could fight off the front foot. He could fight off the back foot, fight in the pocket. He showed at times nice variation, change from southpaw to orthodox, varied up his punches, the tempo of his punches. The problem with Liam-Smith. The problem I had with Leigh Woods is because he's getting clipped too much with punches over the top. So for me, I looked at Leigh Woods' performance as a British fighter in a fight that a lot of people expect him to get absolutely smashed. And why wouldn't we think he'd get absolutely smashed? Matchroom have a habit, and they've had a track record. I'm not bashing Matchroom. It's what it is. If you decide to leave Frank and go to Matchroom, be guaranteed you will get paid your money, but you will get fast tracked to getting smashed. It's like a car crash. That is what Matchroom is. You go to Matchroom, you'll get the promotion, and you'll get in a fight you can't win and get absolutely smashed to bits. And Leigh Wood showed something different. I remember once saying, if you're gonna fight for if you're gonna go on Matchroom cards, you better be able to fight. And Leigh Wood showed he could fight. He showed he could fight, and he showed a lot of British fighters how to go about the business. A nice, good jab, a good. People miss that jab to the body. That knocked the wind out of you. People say, well, Kanzu, he was just coming forward. He was getting stopped nice. A jab, bam, in the face, and a jab to the body. Oh, it's a nice jab. I like the way he mixed it up. And that uppercut whipping the uppercut through the middle. Love that too. The way he was kind of throwing his punches, it reminded me of David Haye. He really reminded me of David Haye. Not so much explosive power, but the dynamics of how Haye would throw his punches. The way he ripped the uppercut through the middle. The way he threw the left hook. It looked almost David Haye-esque, the way he was fighting. I liked it. I found Leigh Woods very interesting, very good to watch. Was he worth £750? No chance. He's not worth £750. But it's a good fight. It was a good fight. People knocked Kanzu and said, "Oh, well, he didn't do enough. It could have been, he was inactive." That's not Leigh Wood's problem. It's not Leigh Wood's problem. Leigh Wood took his opportunity, showed himself to be a class above. And if you want to talk about masterclass, that was as good as a master, almost as good as a masterclass. I said the only problem Leigh Wood for me, getting too many punches. And just a bigger puncher that fight, he might not have done the 12 rounds, but he showed a decent chin for that fight. So Leigh Wood and Ben Davison, no wait, Ben, congratulations. A lot of people call you boxer size, Ben, but to get the guy to box the way he boxed tonight, you got to give Ben credit for that. So shout out to Ben Davison for that. So yeah, congratulations to Leigh Wood. Shout out to Sandy Ryan. Jack Cullen, well done. What's this here? You could be on DAZN, mate. DAZN just went through the podcast YouTube channels and saw who done the most metrics. Well, you know, you see what DAZN and Eddie do need. And Eddie, look, I'm not your biggest fan, mate, to be honest. Nor Frank Smith, not your biggest fan. You know what it is, I know what it is. We'll leave it as that. But, however, and you know what you did, we'll leave it as that. However, I will give you credit for actually what you're trying to do. Is to set up, get fights, do the fight camp, like it, in your backyard. Great, love that. Maya Jama, in the Joshua connection, I don't know what it is. I don't know how she connects to boxing. I just don't. Laura Woods, yeah, she looked great. She looked better than Maya Jama. But if that's what we're talking about, if we're spending more time talking about how hot the women look rather than the actual boxing, that tells you about the substance. Tony Bellew, well, he's always gonna back what Eddie wants, you know. And saying he's Eddie's boy, so he's Eddie's go-to boy. So I'm just expecting Tony Bellew to make a comeback at some point. I mean, the thing with Tony Bellew, right? The thing with Tony Bellew, and I think this is what a lot of fight fans have a problem with Tony Bellew with. He said that you're never going to see his face again. But ever since he's made that statement, we keep seeing his face. And so now he's not a presenter, right? He's a guy you go to and you say, all right, let's go. Let's see what Tony Bellew's got to say. Yeah, he's good for that. He's good for that. But people are paying to watch DAZN. And, you know, Andy Leigh. Now, Andy Lee's a guy that knows his boxing. You know, the thing is, unfortunately, again, when you sign these scripts, when you sign on these contracts, it seems that when you sign for these organizations, you've got to become a company man, which means you've got to commentate based on not what you see, but what they want you to see. So you've got to back the company. You've got to back the company boxer, you know, even if the company boxer's getting absolutely hammered. Oh, well, he's doing well. You know, he come back in a fight. He's got a second gear. So it keeps people entertained. Yeah, I'll score it. You know, a fight that should be going the other way to the other fighter, you're scoring it the other way. So I just think Andy Leigh, if he keeps doing this, the respect Andy Leigh was getting, good morning, the respect Andy Leigh was getting as a pundit is going to go right down the drain if he continues doing what he did last night, because he's a good thinker. You know, he's analytical in boxing. But when he starts talking his trash and starts saying, oh, this guy's winning the fight, I had to fight 5-5. No, you didn't. Don't lie. Don't lie. Because if I cut to you, he needs to do this, he needs to do that. You know, it's only a matter of time we have Ben Davison on the way. He's Ben Davison signed as well. So I just think, there we go. James has come out and said it. Andy Lee's a shill. I do remember him from the Billam-Smith Ryder fight. The company pays him to regurgitate the script. That's the thing. And this is hurting boxing. This is hurt. Look, Eddie, if you really want to change boxing, listen to me, right? You have not got a clue about boxing. You've got no clue about boxing. You're an accountant and you do figures. That's great. But you've not got a clue about boxing. You need to get a decent matchmaker first. Get a decent matchmaker. Dean Powell's a great matchmaker. Get yourself a great matchmaker. 1, you've got the money. Get yourself a freaking good matchmaker. 2, get yourself a world-class commentator. My goodness, get Ian Dark back, right? Get Ian Dark back. Get Ian Dark. Or bring Peter Fury in. You've got Peter Fury. Use him. Not for commentary, but a guy to go to who'll speak his mind. People respect the zone more, right? If you have commentators that speak the truth. If you have commentators that call it like it is. Like somebody made a comment last night and said PBC. And it were people not PBC, right? And Eddie's always talking about his damn budgets like an accountant would. But if he was honest, Sean Porter and Keith Thurman could carry that DAZN show. Keith Thurman, Sean Porter, Abner Mares. Those 3 guys could carry a show in a studio. Those 3 guys could carry a show. Forget Tony Bellew. They could carry a show. If you're talking about guys who could talk about the sport of boxing analytically, that's the sort of standard you really want to be having in your shows. Do you understand? Carl Froch is okay. If you want, what they need to do, what you really want to do, Eddie, let me do what you could do here. Here's your setup here. If you want to do scripts, and TalkSport do it quite well. You got Cundy, who basically is the guy that'll stir things up. It'll make things uncomfortable. It'll say things that'll be controversial. You need that guy in your show. So people tune in and say, what next is this guy going to say? You need that guy, right? You need a person in there who knows their stats. Who don't just go, oh, my goodness, there's a boxing tonight. You need people who know their stats, who can tell you about the history of boxing. You need a historian on there or statistician, right? You need a woman that flipping knows boxing, i.e., you could have Natasha Jonas on there. What's wrong with Natasha Jonas? Huh? Jeez. You can get Alex Scott on there, right? She is a professional at what she does, and she's very good. She comes from football world, yeah? Just Alex Scott, she's not bad to look at either. You understand? People might laugh at Michelle Joy Phelps, but she knows more than bloody Maya does. So I just, you've got Michelle Joy Phelps, and you've got that connection with the YouTube community there, right? If you really want to capitalize on the YouTube community, I've said this for ages, Eddie. Start to use YouTubers, right? Get a YouTuber's booth. Get a YouTuber's booth. With these fight camps that are shite camps, right? Get a YouTuber's booth and get 2 YouTubers going at it in the booth. Mate, you're lacking. You know what you're really lacking, mate? If I'm really honest, you're lacking some flavour back in the back room. You need a couple of brothers in the back room. That's what you need, right? A couple of brothers in the back room to give you some vision. You know what I mean? You've got money. Invest it wisely, Eddie. The arrogance you have is unbelievable, and it's showing in the way you put your fights out. Good match, good fight cards with good matchmaking, good commentary team, people who know what they're talking about boxing. And if you're going to put ladies on there, not being sexist, but actually women that actually could talk about boxing, I tell you what, get some of these female fighters on the show and get them to do a bit of spot of commentating or spot of presenting, or get them on the show doing some talking, right? You've got Chantel Cameron, bring her on. You got Katie Taylor, bring her on. Even if she's on for a couple of minutes, all right, Kate, how you doing? When's your upcoming fight? Blah, blah. Bring her on. Passing through and say something. You know what I mean? Do that, Eddie. You're doing a great job with women's boxing, but you can add with that by bringing actually female fighters through, get them on doing a bit of the old presenting bit. Just an idea. So it's not all bad, Eddie. It's not all bad, but don't fool the public and make mugs of public, because that's where you're going to rub the public up the wrong way. Right? That's where you rub the public up the wrong way, where you start saying, what, I got 100 million, I got Appleton Pierce, I got 100 million budget. Yeah, look at me, I'm a big man, I got a lot of money. And then you put on that crap. That's why people don't like you, Eddie. That's why you'll never crack America. You will never crack America. Never. Never. Not with that attitude. Not with that public schoolboy attitude. Not happening. Boxing's a working class sport. You need a couple of working class guy a bit savvy, and you haven't got that back there. You've not got that at the zone. And that's where you're going wrong with the zone. You've got some good ideas, but the execution is just poor. And that's the problem. And yeah, you need to start scouring through YouTube to hear what people are saying. You know what I mean? So it's not all I'm bashing Eddie here. The things I'm giving constructive things as to how you could put things together better. You know what I mean? Just some things to think about. If people are saying here, people like you telling their minds, yeah, mate, you'd get sacked. HBO did that. Where are they now? No one tuned into the commentary. That's all bad. Yeah, thank you, EJ Boxing Live. Good to see you in the room, my friend. Listen, the thing is, Max Kellerman started out like that, and then they cut Max Kellerman. You see, people not PBC. You've not PBC, but you hail Eddie and Matchroom. How can you do that? The people that hail Eddie are dart chuckers and guys that want to do business with Eddie, but obviously fighters. But really, if you're coming from the world of viewership, it's garbage. And you have to be able to draw a line and say, look, this is the product we're giving to you, and suck it and see, and give us your feedback. Eddie, be a man of the people. Don't be a rat. Be a man of the people and come out and say, you know what? Okay, maybe our standards aren't that good. Have the floor. Let us know what you think of Fight Camp. How can we improve Fight Camp? That would be better. That's customer service for you, Eddie. Yeah? And I think you do really good with it. If you could do that, anybody can bring Ian Dark back. My God, the guy's a legend. And look for some proper commentators. Then you'd really bring the sport back. If you really want to bring the sport of boxing back, do that. You have a responsibility. Eddie Owen watches all these channels. Make no mistake. But I heard a whisper Bellew had a huge say in appointing people. Yeah, I know Eddie. I know Eddie watches the channel. I know he does. But you know, man, you need a couple of brothers back there. You know what I mean? Good couple of brothers back there that can show you the way, man. You know what I mean? Learn from PBC, Eddie. Learn from PBC. My gosh. Injection of pace. He needs an injection. You know, he needs an injection of colour. Never mind pace. He needs an injection of colour. There's a couple of brothers to step in there and show you a bit of diversity. You understand? And guys, you know. But yeah, that's it. Leigh Wood box really well, mate. That's what I'll say. He's the card saver. Do you know what I mean? Where's David Price when you need him? Where's Dave Allen when you need him? You know? All right. Closing thoughts. We are really looking down the barrel here, people. We're really looking down the freaking barrel. The problem is, Matchroom have been exposed. Oh, they've been exposed. Well, all right. Yeah, well, I got Joshua Boazzi. How long's that guy since he's turned pro? How long's he been a pro now? Who's he for? This guy fights coming up, could kick his ass. He wants to be careful. But Boazzi's fought nobody. The Matchroom stable is just not that good. Lot of show, not good substance. And the reason why is because early on, what they did, they started matching these guys who just weren't ready. You remember Lewis Ritson, the Georgie Golovkin? Why did he rush Lewis Ritson's career? He had Ted Cheeseman. Why did he rush Ted Cheeseman's career? He had a good win against Carson Jones. He could have kept him pushing on. You know, kept working Ted Cheeseman and build him up. Build a story with these guys, Eddie. If you want to change the agenda and change the script, build a story with these guys. Build a following with these guys. You see, you say, oh, we've done great work with AJ. You did great work with AJ. You took him to America and you set him up for a fall. That's not doing great work. You had the choice. You let Andy Ruiz come in and ruin the party. So AJ still hasn't. You can't even call AJ a crossover star. He's a crossover failure. He wouldn't have got smashed in America. And you haven't rectified that problem yet because you wouldn't have took him out to the Middle East. So it's how you're guiding these fighters, right? Matchmaking. And building this a genuinely pay-per-view at the Matchroom stable. That's the thing. So I think we've got to lower expectations. Lower expectations. Cut the crap about calling these guys world class. Cut the crap. Bring the levels down and say, you know what? Matchroom's a work in progress. They've got some good, decent prospect fighters. And, you know, Joshua is like levels above because of, you know, heavyweight and all the rest of it. But otherwise, we've just got to lower the levels of expectation. We really do. You really do. Lower the levels. Yep. There we go. There's one. Ade from YouTube over at the Zone. Yes, that would work. Ade's good. He'd be very good. That's who they need to bring over. He'd be good. Bit of colour over there. But the problem is has Eddie learned all the bad habits from Adam Smith? Because that same script and garbage seems to be going along the lines. That's why they won't have Spencer Ferron. You ever wonder why Spencer Ferron never worked on them on prime time? You know why Spencer Ferron never worked on prime time? Because they couldn't trust the black geezer. They couldn't trust the black geezer that might go off script. Huh? The black geezer that might go off script. And that was for Spencer Ferron. You never know what was going to come out of Spencer's mouth. So that's why they kept him that toe-to-toe show. That's the truth. Truth being said, you wouldn't put Spencer Ferron on because you didn't know what was going to come out of Spencer's mouth. Right? I remember once Peter Fury, he was on a show and he was talking about Tom Dallas. Man, Peter Fury had me in stitches. He went and said, so Bunsen went, oh, so what do you think of the future of Tom Dallas then? What do you think of the future of Tom Dallas? And Peter went, well, personally, he needs to stick to paint and decorating. He needs to stick to paint and decorating. Said that. He left me in absolute stitches. He called it like it is. Tom Dallas can't fight. But he called it like it is. And if you had somebody called it... Do you know why Nazim Hamed got so many reviews? Where the hell is Duke McKenzie? Duke freaking McKenzie! Guy knows his boxing. Bit of a company, man. Knows his boxing. Where's Duke McKenzie? If you want to sign a star, bring Prince Nazim Hamed in. Eddie, use your flipping nut. Prince Nazim Hamed. Prince Nazim Hamed. Straight up draw. Straight away. Former world champion. Knockout artist. Greatest boxing entertainer. Sign him up. Eddie, use your nut, son. Use your freaking nut. It frustrates me because he's got some good ideas there. You know, flipping people eating out of pizza boxes. Oh, my God. He's there now. Okay, that's good. I didn't know that. That's good to know. That's good. That's a good start. He says, crazy knowing the guy Cullen beat was fighting Canelo a few months ago. Morning, Ingram. You had me in stitches when you went over on Ultra's channel. Yeah, well, Ultra's the man. Ultra is the man. Listen, Eddie, sign up Ultra. Well, actually, don't sign up Ultra. Don't sign up Ultra. I don't want to get Ultra in trouble. But Ultra's the man. You need someone like that. That is going to get the fans up. It's going to grate the fans some way. But he does talk good. Talks good boxing sense. You know what I mean? You need a character like that. They're all too plain Jane in there. Too plain Jane. Too plain Jane. Thoughts on Asia not being allowed to have his sugar in America? What does that mean? I'm not sure about it. You'll have to go into further about that. Thoughts on Wood calling that Navarrete? Jesus Christ, God forbid. See, this is the problem. This is the problem we have. You win a world title, you box really well, and then you come out and say that. He needs to fight Josh Warrington and beat the rest of. Listen, Josh Warrington's going to get his snot beaten out of him again, I think. But if he doesn't and he wins that fight, I think Josh Warrington needs to fight Leigh Wood in the unification bout. Good fight. Good fight. The fact people are talking about Kell Brook versus Amir Khan, and that's going to be a pay-per-view event, that's telling you all. The bottom line is, Eddie, if that wasn't £750 a ticket, it'd been okay. It'd have been fine. If you really want to give back, Eddie, if you really want to give back, you know what you do. You want to really be the people's champion, Eddie, because I know you really want to be loved. Deep down, you want that love, because I don't think you were loved much at school. But I think if you really want to do something, if you want to be daring to be great, Eddie, every time you've gone to dare to be great at world level, you flunked it. Wilder versus Joshua, you flunked it. In fact, your old man flunked that for you when he was going fishing, right? And then you flunked Joshua versus Fury, right? In spectacular fashion. You know what you want to do, Eddie? If you want to dare to be great, do what Al Heyman did. Dare you, Eddie. Go on free-tier TV. Go on. Get an ITV deal. Get Channel 5 deal. Go on BBC. Put the zone on terrestrial television. There's my challenge to you, Eddie. I know you're watching the shows. If you're really the man you say you are, and you got enough money, you got a budget, do some free-tier shows on the zone. You win people back to boxing. You don't have to keep having your dart chuckers 2-for-1 tickets. You know what I mean? Come to the darts and we give you half price on a boxing show. You don't need to do that, Eddie. You really want to get the fans back, do terrestrial TV. That's my challenge to you. Because you spectacularly failed at world level when it comes to making the huge fights. You really have. At heavyweight, I'm talking. So that's my challenge to you, Eddie. Bygones be bygones. You know what you did. Bygones be bygones. And let me see how I can help Matchroom from BWTM Sports. Because I actually want to see you do well, Eddie. I actually want to see you do well, right? But just cut with the flipping, wide boy shit and just put it together, Eddie. Put it together. You're doing a lot of good work. Put it together and give the fans what they want, Eddie. You'll talk about give the fans what they want. Mind your business about other people's boxing promotions and how much tickets people are selling. Because I'm convinced that Conor Benn's fight with GRANDOS was not a sellout crowd. You know that, I know that, and the doctor knows that. You know what I'm talking about, Eddie. So I think that you need to, and then what you also need to do, Eddie, is the whole thing with the COVID. Step up, Eddie. Show people the medical thing. Get fighters to, don't just Conor men go missing. You just get them to say, you know what, look, I'm sorry I couldn't make the fight. Really sorry. Let the fans down. But okay, we'll be back soon and you can get your ticket refund. I don't know how it's worked, but yeah, that would be nice. Boatsy, oh my God. Tuesday, I remember Boatsy mentioning how strict the New York admission was. Oh, wow. Yeah. My boy, was it New York or Las Vegas? Which one it is? It might be New York with my boy, Larry Hazard. That's New Jersey, but Larry Hazard, he's the man when it comes to commissioners. Larry Hazard's the man. I agree. He needs to beat the top British guys first. Just see what he's at. Navarrete is a different animal. Navarrete is a different animal. Ask Isaac Dogba. You know, a good fight. Him versus Isaac Dogba would be a good fight. Warrington got set up to fall as punishment for leaving the plantation. Yeah, something like that. Eddie's always fronting about undisputed first AJ, now Canelo. Yeah, well, is what it is, isn't it? Fraser Clark won. Disqualification, yeah. Fraser Clark, nice guy. Met him. I hope he does well. I really hope he does well. Because Britain need another heavyweight for the Olympics. Do you think Bolotniks can rough Boatsy? I think he can freaking beat Boatsy. That Bolotniks is no joke. That guy is no joke. He's got a stiff, good stiff jab, right hand, straight right hand down the pipe. I mean, he's good, sweet, defensive, wicked body shots. That guy's no joke. That guy's no joke. If Watsy is the man he says he is, he's got to get rid of Bolotniks. Oh, Bolotniks is gonna. That's an upset alert right there. I'm telling you right now. Bolotniks. I'll go back and watch that guy. Go back and see how he fought. What's the guy again? Tyson Fury's cousin. He fought Tyson Fury's cousin. Go and fight when he fought on that gold. Was it golden MTK golden contract? Go and watch his fights. He fought an undefeated guy he was really hyped at the undefeated guy, and he actually smashed him to bits. Smashed him to bits. Took him, ground him down, smashed him to bits. He's got wicked body shots, good to the body, moves the head. He's a dangerous guy, that Bolotniks. Don't look at his record. Look at what he's doing his last 5 fights. His track record. He's become such a better fighter. So if he's not careful, because I'm sorry, the performances Watsy's put on have been bare garbage, right? Ryan Ford was catching him with overhand rights, and who the hell's Ryan Ford? Not good enough. He's got Virgil Hunter, which I hope makes a difference, but I don't know. Hosea Burton, yeah, look what he did to Hosea Burton. Is Watsy playing it too safe? Well, he can't play it safe against Bolotniks. And you know when fighters play it safe like that, it always reminds me what a guy said to me when I was training in America. He said to me, when guys play it safe like that, no, they've been chinned in sparring, they're hiding glass. We'll see. Thumbs up to the video, people. Eddie, listen. Frank, listen. I'm not the best of chums, but it's business. And this is the business of boxing and bringing boxing back to British shores. Mate, get a decent matchmaker in and a proper matchmaker in, regardless of the colour of skin. Get the matchmaker in that's going to do the business, do you know what I mean? And he's going to make the right things, make the right calls. Because I'll tell you something, if you get a decent matchmaker in, you get a good quality commentary team, proper quality team, commentary team, get a decent panel, right? And cut the crap, Eddie, right? You could do really good. You could do really good numbers and come back to terrestrial TV. Do once a month, just one fight, one card, yeah, and we could do it. Some people calling Clark a club fighter. That's a little harsh. It's fair to see how he lost to Joshua and Joyce in the Successive Olympics. Still minimum of a bronze. Well done, son. Yeah, well done. What fights do you want to see? I've got because I've got to go get off to coaching. What fights are you looking forward to for the remainder of the year? Watsy versus Bolotniks. I'm looking forward to that fight. Spence versus Pacquiao. I'm backing Pacquiao, right? So let me go because I gotta get to training. Right. Thank you all so much. Much love. I'll probably come back and finish this off tonight. Eddie, it's all love. Let's make boxing in Britain great again. This has been BWTM Sports Gaming. Thank you all so much for watching and tuning in. Love you all. And thank you to all the old school and the new school. This is BWTM Sports. We're out. Take care.